welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked. I'm Viva. I spent way too much time online, and I'm telling stories that nobody asked, but I'm telling them anyway. And just to say this before we start, this is just like a little gossip between us. This is not meant to hurt or defame anyone, not that I have the, power to. But yeah, a little gossip between us. I hope you got your drinks, your popcorn ready. Or actually, you know what? What do you need? You need something that could heal you emotionally from this story. Mine is, I got this, I know that I had to use this. My trusty Adam. It's next to me when I really, really need it. With that being said, let's get into today's topic. Okay. Compare it to an episode that reboots itself every time you rewatch the episode. And that's basically it. So, have you guys heard of Oli London before? If you haven't, anywhere on TikTok, on YouTube, in the K-pop industry world, you would have seen his face or is familiar with the face of Oli London. But if you haven't heard of him, welcome to another roller coaster ride. I'm here to guide you through it. Take my hand and we go together because I also really do need some support with this as well. So, who is Oli London? Oli London, he's an interesting character, I must say. And by interesting, I would like to mean it in the most positive way, but it's very hard to. He is a person with so many personalities, so many identities, and I'm not talking about an actor. I'm not talking about someone who plays a role. Let me lay the background of how he is, who he is, and what is he. The first time that Oli London appeared into the online world or made his presence known to the world that he existed is back in 2018, actually. 2018, he appeared in a couple documentaries on YouTube. I think this is the era of, if you guys have been on the internet for as long as me, way too long, you would know about Ken doll or the Barbie doll. These people get plastic surgery, get their procedures done to look like a certain thing. Ken doll is to look like Ken. There's a girl, I don't know who she is, but she wanted to look like Barbie, so she went through all the surgery that is physically possible and also physically unimaginable that there is such thing. And I feel like Oli London was in the same era as them. He became viral from that moment on. So a YouTube channel called Truly uploaded a little documentary about a guy who spent over, I guess for now, 100K on surgeries to look like a certain person.
I want my entire lifestyle to revolve around K-pop, and I want my entire look to look like Jimin. I want to be him, but I also have a crush on him. To be honest, all K-pop stars are so beautiful.
As an ARMY, at that time, the fact that I saw a video about a guy who wanted to do plastic surgeries to look like Jimin, I was offended.
And I've had 18 surgeries to look like Jimin, and I feel like I've nailed it. I'm almost there.
I was personally attacked. And I think my reaction was respectfully, no, please get away from Jimin. I'm going to save my little ARMY attitude and then I'll tell you the story I'm trying to remain neutral as possible. For a little background, Oli London lived in South Korea for a bit. He was teaching English. He fell in love with the Korean culture, maybe a little bit too much that he wanted to become Korean. And yes, you can absolutely become Korean in terms of you can get the citizenship, you can speak the language, immerse yourself in the culture, the language, the food, everything, but you don't become that nationality. The way he explained what he was doing on that documentary was, I'm a fan of BTS. That's absolutely fine for me. If you're a fan of BTS, you're inspired by what they do, and you want to do the same, you want to go dance, go sing, pursue your career, absolutely fine. Why did I turn British? But what he was doing was not in that sense at all. His ultimate goal was very much, I want to beat them.
A lot of K-pop stars wear this particular brand as well. Now these ones were expensive, 1,600, 650, 700, 790.
The fact that he's doing surgery, he is buying clothes, and he's trying to mimic every single little nook and cranny that's Jimin to be Jimin. I think that's a bit too much. With his introduction, this literally shook the K-pop world. It shook me as well. Everyone was traumatized from that point on. This man got a jaw surgery, got his entire face changed. I mean, the one time that I heard about a person changing his entire face was this, I think that was a serial killer who surgically transformed his face by himself. And you know what? He did some of the surgeries which I thought that it didn't exist, but it actually did. He did a fat reduction from the chest, and his words was because Asian have like a smaller build, that's why he did that as well. And I was like, maybe that's a bit too extreme.
I had all of the fatty tissue removed from my chest, so you can still see I have the scars and it's still very sore. I've also had a blepharoplasty, which basically was work on my eyelids for rhinoplasties, angle reduction, which is basically a jawline surgery.
Do you guys know what a Koreaboo is? Koreaboo is basically someone who likes K-pop so much, or Korea so much. Every single life aspect is Korean, despite they're not in Korean. Which, yeah, you're studying a language, so that's fine. But in this case, it'll be like, say, if you talk to me, say if I drop something, a normal person would be like, oh, I drop it. Shit. A Koreaboo is like, oh, 깜짝이야, 어떡해? They, they would incorporate that into their body language and their internal personality. Let's just say Oli London was the pioneers of the Koreaboo. Back then, this man was so famous, he literally went on Dr. Phil as well.
But you're wanting to be a clone or a replica of someone else, which is an insult to you.
No, I think it's a tribute to Jimin, actually. You know, it's showing my appreciation for Jimin because I'm so in love with him. I'm so obsessed. So it's my appreciation for Jimin.
I mean, an act of tribute of a fan would be like, oh yeah, you support their music, you buy their merch, not become them and become their race. He also added that he wanted to look like Jimin and change his race entirely to being Korean. From being British to being Korean. I'm not sure in this logical system how that would work.
This is my new look, the blonde hair, the plastic surgery, and I'm happy. Like, if you look at the pictures of me and Jimin, we're identical.
In 2021, there's one of the shows, they interviewed Oli London. Oli actually stated, I now identify as Korean after being born in the wrong body. And he added, I've transitioned from British to Korean. Like, he wasn't saying, I love Korea, but he was saying, I am Korean now. And he was like, oh, I was born in the wrong body. Race is how you feel. And he also, this is actually peak behavior of transitioning into being Asian. He invented his own pronouns. His pronouns is Korean. So it's not a he, she, it. It's not a they. It's not any of those, but it's Korean. I don't understand how we're going to use that in a sentence. It's like Piers Morgan saying that he wanted to have his pronouns as penguin just because he didn't like the person he was interviewing and she or he or they were using a different pronoun. In 2021, Oli came out to the world and transitioned and said he is now Korean. Now, there's a lot of things to address here. I'm just going to slowly unveil it to you. This is my thoughts. A, I don't think you can claim a nationality or an ethnicity like it's a fashion. B, it's just a big no, as in my Jimin. We gotta protect our Jimin. Around the same time in 2021, because he's got the fame, he's got the clout, he starts making music and his song titles were like Koreaboo. Another song, I think it was Perfection. I am perfection, no matter what they say. And I remember he was covering some like Christmas song as well, which I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. One comment that I saw lived in my head rent free was, bro took character customization to a whole other level. And that's actually a very accurate description of Oli London. At this point, he is well known to the K-pop world as someone who wants to be Jimin, as a Jimin stalker, a Jimin sasang. Sasang is basically a stalker in Korean.
So now that I'm in Korea, I'm really trying to find Jimin. I'm going to all of his favorite hangouts, favorite places. Oh my god, BTS, Jimin! Oh my god, I love you! Jimin, I love you! I love you so much. 사랑해, BTS.
I need this. A lot of people thought that Oli London was just, joking around and he wasn't as serious. But the more you watch his interviews, the more the years pass, it's actually legit. Like, he actually thinks that he could change his nationality with the procedures done and call himself Korean, despite not really speaking fluent Korean as well. Now, that's the thing that we have to take note of too.
Let me introduce myself to you, Phil. 안녕하세요, 올리입니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 사랑해요.
Also, we cannot skip the fact that he also married a cardboard Jimin.
We're very happy together as well.
And there's a lot of people online, judging our wedding and stuff, and I actually think that's very carbophobic. All this carbophobic abuse is not nice. We're just living our life. We're happy.
And also divorced him. I remember I saw the video and I was like, this man is marrying a cardboard now? And then I went through TikTok and then he was like, oh yeah, I'm getting divorced with Jamie. And I was like, okay. Remember the comment that said he took customization to a whole other level? He has been customizing a lot. So it started off with being Jimin, and in 2022, he found a new obsession over Felix from Stray Kids, and he was like, I'm becoming him. I am him.
You guys, I'm just with Felix, and so many people say we look alike. Do you guys think we look alike? I think we look like twins.
The entire Stray Kids fandom, which I'm so sorry, I don't know the name of the fandom, but they also were protective of Felix as well. They're like, please stay away, respectfully. Maybe not respectfully, but respectfully, please. At this point, I just feel like Oli is treating every K-pop idol that he likes as a Mario Kart character that he could just choose new every round. Over the years, there's a lot of controversial moments that he has done, but the one thing I'm wondering is, how has he made this much money to fund himself to, do these surgeries? Because he started off in 2018 spending over 100K. Over the years, it has been piling up. I think it probably would have easily reached like 500K. After Stray Kids, he took a liking to a K-pop girl group. Yes, K-pop girl group that was very, very famous at that time and also right now as well. He had a change of heart and then announced to the world he was transitioning into a Korean woman. A Korean woman. Specifically, Rosie from Blackpink.
'Cause everything I need is on the ground. So sour candy, so sweet when you get a little angry.
When you think that it is the end, but it's never the end. It just gets worse and worse. Like from a British guy to a Korean person, now to a Korean woman. Oli is now named as Rose London. It's not Oli London anymore, it's Rose London. And now he's taking customization to a whole other level. Before that, it was just race. Now it's gender. Now, there's nothing wrong in transitioning into another gender. If you feel like you are such gender or whichever gender you are, you can be that gender. But in this case, Oli is basically just picking his characters and like, oh, I want to be Rose today. Oh, I want to be Felix today. Oh, I want to be Jimin today. And now identifying as Rose London, he tweeted this. I'm living my best life as a Korean woman and the newest member of Blackpink, Rose London. And like his usual pattern, he then gets more procedure done to look more like Rose. At this point, I don't think people are shocked anymore that he has changed gender or race or a person. But I think people are more confused at what is going on in his head. What is in here that make you think that let's do procedures to become Rose? How many limits to how many times a person can reboot their personality, their identity, and their nationality? I don't think that even should be a question that exists. After the Rose incident, he is still consistently online. So Oli London is the kind of person, it's like Big Ed, that you don't look up information on, but they just pop up randomly and you're like, oh, okay. So yeah, in 2023, he has a change of heart again. After traumatizing the entire K-pop world, he has now transitioned into becoming religious and political. He's talking about demonstrations. He's talking about religious contents. And I thought I was seeing things because the last time I saw him, he was Rose London. In this case, he also transitioned back into man as well. And he even published a book. The book is called Gender Madness, One Man's Devastating Struggle with Woke Ideology and His Battle to Protect Children. Now, I had a look online as well. There are reviews on the book. Would I read it? I don't think so. I have pulled out some of the core values in the book that I wanted to share with you guys. So one of his core arguments is basically this. He claims that the current gender identity culture is harmful, and especially to young people, and that society has gone too far in affirming trans identity without enough questioning. I mean, Oli has had a lot of questioning by the entire internet, so I think that was more than enough to be questioned. And I'm not too sure why he published this book either saying the society's at fault for people transitioning, or like, you have to question these people more. And the book also frames gender affirming care as rushed and politically driven. So he actually positioned himself as someone who has escaped both extreme identity transformation and what he calls gender ideology. Now, this is the same person who previously has claimed to be transracial and tried to become Korean. Well, successfully became Korean in his sense, publicly identified himself as non-binary, spent heavily on surgeries to resemble a Korean person in both gender in different times. And honestly, I feel like the more I looked into this, it feels like a publicity stunt. And if it actually is, I'm very amazed at how long he kept it up because like he came out as Korean back in 2018, right? And when he released the book, it was 2023. So it's been 5 years that he has been committed to this stunt. This is actually giving me the Chica dancing guy vibe. There was this one guy who dances on TikTok every single day, and he would dance the same song, and the quote would be "dancing Chica until I get a girlfriend." And it has been 2,000 or 3,000 days since he has been dancing this. And this is giving me that vibe. Now, personally, what I feel about Oli London is that he has been a character that has been in my head for a very long time unconsciously. It's like I know of him. I don't think about him, but when he surfaced up on my phone, if I look up something K-pop and he pops up, I'm like, oh, he's a different person now. I remember him going into Christianity. I remember him interviewing about political issues as well. I was watching the interview and I just couldn't understand. I could not wrap my head around how this happened. And the most important bit that really drove me into, making this podcast or this episode is because now he wants to become Thai.
Sawadika guys, I am officially Thai. Look at my costume, how cute is this? Kopunaka, Sawadi Oli Imnida.
Nah. For those who know me, by the accent, you won't know me. But I'm actually Thai because he's now wanting to become Thai or, he's becoming Thai. I feel directly attacked. So I had a little research. And by research, I mean doom scrolling on his TikTok. And it was probably not the best hour of my life. And he has shown interest in Thailand back in 2023. So this was back during his political years as well. He visited Thailand. He fell in love with Thailand. Same cliche pattern. He was like, oh, I want to become Thai. The most recent video I saw was he wants to become a BL Thai actor.
Ni Ka Fu Fukan Chao Thai. This is Thai BL trainee Oli here. Sawadika. Chan Kalang Chapai. Odi Chan Raika GMMTV. I am officially going to audition for GMMTV because I really feel like I've got what it takes to make it as a Thai idol. I've already made it in the K-pop industry. Everybody in Korea loves me. So now it's time to break into Thai BL, guys. So what do you think?
BL is boys love, which it's a very famous genre for like series, TVs, and everything, and they're really big. So it doesn't really surprise me that he knows of this and he's a fan of this, but the fact that he wants to become one of them, which boys love actor, that's okay. But if you add the word Thai in the middle, boys love Thai actor, I don't think the Thai actually works in this case. You can love the Thai BL industry. You can love the actors. You can work in Thai entertainment. Like, yeah, that's probably one of the main thing that you could do to become a BL actor, but you cannot just become Thai. In this case, I think he really needs to understand that becoming an identity, becoming a different race is not an aesthetic. It's not something I can pick and choose because did I choose to be Thai? I didn't choose to be Thai, but I am Thai. But do I want to change race? I don't want to change race. I like being Thai. It's a whole different ordeal of being that certain race. From doing a deep dive into this, it made me realize that this man actually single-handedly traumatizes a lot of Asian cultures and a lot of Asian identities now. He started off Korean, right? And he's now coming into Thai. And at some point, I think he went into the Philippines as well. And I was like, oh, I'm becoming Filipino. Right now, he's using a lot of Vietnamese song.
Xin chào, you guys. I've never seen this much rain, so
This is my rain hat for today, keep me dry. What do you think, guys? Is this a good look?
People were commenting like, please don't become Vietnamese. And I'm not saying you can't be inspired by a culture, but in this case, there's a very fine line of culture appreciation and appropriation. And I don't think he is on the good end. This doesn't cross into anything. It crosses into, please stop traumatizing us. That's probably the better cross that he should cross into. Anyways, Oli London has been traumatizing the internet for way too long and changing race as if you can pick and choose in Mario Kart. Every few years, me personally, and also the entire internet, has seen him becoming a new person every single time. Not in a way that, oh, he's changed to be a better person. But no, it's a change of his entire core, his entire race, his entire identity, and him as a whole. Maybe, you know what's consistent? That little pattern that he, switches identity every year or so. That's probably the most consistent thing that he has ever done, which I applaud then, if that's the case. Yeah, so now Oli London has now changed his focus to becoming Thai, but we'll have to see who he becomes next, who's his next obsession. At this point, race feels like a subscription service now. And I don't know how I feel about that. Well, that's the tea for today. Welcome to my world, and I'm happy that I could introduce you to Oli London, and then I'm happy to take you along this little path journey of mine in discovering who he is. As usual, nobody asked for the story, but I'm telling them anyways, and you're absolutely welcome for this. I will see you in the next episode. Bye!